Some things that happen that I do not enjoy telling. But in order to avoid confusion, I've always told you people that an informed congregation is not a confused congregation. The year 2003 will be remembered in this message as a year when there was a great division that began. And it started when there was a publication put out entitled, Here I Stand. And I for one, I don't go looking or asking for these things. But when somebody tells me that somebody tells them the day's got to come when you've got to make a choice between this and that, or when I hear people saying, it's manifesting time, we'll find out now who's a believer and who's not a believer, that to me does not sound Christian. It does not sound like Brother Branham's message. It sounds like a spirit that's driving somebody another way. And I've taken the attitude, and as I've gone around and seen these brothers that I named a while ago, I've encouraged all of them and myself that let's not have anything in our heart against anybody. Let everybody do whatever they feel to do. But I'm afraid they're not going to take that attitude. When the letter that they wrote me, and I don't have it here to quote to you, but they said, will you sit in a court of law and raise your hand and swear that these tapes are not copyrighted when the prophet of God said they were? I believe every word Brother Branham said about them. To me, it's them that don't believe it, because they're the ones who are now trying to do something else about it. They are trying to now legally do something where Brother Branham would have never done that. I believe that if these things, if they are given control of them the way they want them, that they won't stop the people that they want to call lewd, foul, evil person, the person who wants to take and splice Brother Branham's tape and make him say something he didn't say. They will not stop those people. They will not stop the critics. What they will do is they will hinder the spreading of this word. And somebody said, no, they'll never go there. I have 3 letters I wish to read you today that I received this week. The first one that I read to you is dated May the 15th, 2003, and it is from a law firm in Indianapolis. And I quote, we represent Voice of God Recordings, which, as you know, produces, sells, and distributes a range of products related to the recorded sermons of Reverend William Branham. Among these products are recordings on compact discs, cassettes, and DVDs of original sermons and translations of those sermons from English into a variety of the world languages. All of the rights in and relating to these sermons are owned by Voice of God or licensed exclusively to Voice of God by Reverend Branham's descendants. Now my question is going to be, is Sarah involved in this? Is Becky involved in this? Is Billy involved in this? Such rights include copyrights, trademark rights, and rights of publicity. Folks, do you hear what it's saying? It reads to me like the 4th chapter of Acts, when the disciples were forbidden to mention the name of Jesus Christ. And they replied, we ought to obey God rather than man. We have recently been advised that you're copying a Voice of God audio and text translations of Reverend Branham's sermons without our client's consent. We've also reviewed your website, and that's the person this letter was written to, at which you offer such materials and explain the copying process. Voice of God takes its responsibility concerning Reverend Branham's message and name very seriously. We therefore must insist on our client's behalf that you observe our client's rights and stop making such copies and distributing them in any fashion. Means you can't even give away. Our client does not wish to take you to litigation over this matter. That's legal action. Whether Voice of God hopes that having been formally notified of the concerns of those charged with continuing Reverend Branham's legacy and reviewing the above-mentioned copyright information, you will comply with this request. If, however, you do not respond to this letter and you do not immediately desist from distributing the copyright translations, voice of God has authorized legal action against this appropriation of their material. Now, if they do not intend to do that, if they have not authorized this, then that is a lie. That is intimidation. Now, that's from a law firm. This one is signed by Brother Joseph himself. We recently obtained a sermon DVD sent from you which contains my father's sermons. Voice of God Recording has the sole rights to all the material for my father's ministry. I would like to make you aware that you are selling and distributing our company's federally copyrighted material. Now, that's not true yet. They've applied for it. The people who compile these masters for you have been warned in the past with several cease and desist letters regarding the illegal sale and distribution of our material. We trust that you will honor our federal copyright laws as well as individual state distribution laws so that we will not have to take legal action against you. That letter is dated September the 9th, 2003, and signed by Brother Joseph Branham. Folks, it makes me sick. It hurts in my heart. November 6, 2003, another letter from the law firm. This firm represents Voice of God Recordings of Jeffersonville, Indiana, with regard to intellectual property matters. Folks, if it's intellectual, I don't want it. Our client has informed us that your business is or has been distributing copies in DVD format of the sermons of Reverend William Branham. We have been asked to advise you that the Voice of God Recordings is the owner of all right, title, and interest in the name, voice, and likeness of Reverend Branham. That's pictures. That's drawings. As well as sound recordings made of Reverend Branham's sermons. Our client's rights in these intellectual properties have not been licensed to any others. Accordingly, products that incorporate one or more of these elements may not be made without the express written consent of Voice of God Recordings. We've been informed that you are distributing these DVD agents, and the content of these copies include material of Mr. Branham's sermons that our client offered for the first time in December 2002. There was 14 lost sermons that were found, given to them by somebody, and now then they copyrighted them before they released them, and if you put one of those 14 sermons on there, they can legally sue you. And we believe it to be covered by applicable copyright and other laws. On behalf of our client, if you are currently manufacturing, selling, distributing, or otherwise dealing in such products, we request that you stop such activity immediately. Our client does not wish to engage in litigation over this matter, but expects that your business will do the right thing and comply with its wishes. These properties of special value and importance our clients wants to protect, and we ask your cooperation in doing so. And they give a deadline.